All right, let's talk about something that's absolutely crucial for any L1 analyst, SOC metrics. Now, I know what you might be thinking, boring numbers for a manager's report. But trust me, they're not. They're actually the tools you use to measure the health, the speed, and really the effectiveness of your entire security team. So let's dive in and demystify this stuff.
Okay, picture this. You walk in, you start your shift, you've got your coffee, and you log in. And what's staring back at you? A queue with 80 alerts. And you know that somewhere in that digital haystack, there's one single genuine threat. The pressure's on, right? Well, this isn't just some made-up scenario. This is the daily reality for L1 analysts, and it perfectly sets the stage for what we're talking about today.
You know, this exact situation is so common, it's pretty much the classic example of the job. It's totally overwhelming, and it's incredibly easy for something really important, a critical threat, to just get lost in all that noise. And that is exactly why these metrics matter. They aren't just for reports, they're your guide through the chaos.
So, how do we actually measure our ability to handle all that chaos? Well, we're going to start by looking at the core metrics. Think of these as the vital signs that tell us just how healthy and effective our Security Operations Center really is.
First one up is the false positive rate, or FPR for short. It's a really simple, but man, is it a powerful number. Basically, it tells you what percentage of your alerts are just noise, benign activity, weird system quirks, or rules that just aren't configured right. It's the metric that measures how much of your day is spent chasing ghosts. Now, look at this. The difference between an unhealthy SOC and a healthy one is just massive. So in our example, if 75 of those 80 alerts are false positives, your FPR is a staggering 94%. The goal? Get that number way down, below 20%. This just perfectly shows the problem. In an unhealthy SOC, most of your time is literally wasted on alerts that don't even matter.
So why is that a big deal? Well, a high FPR leads directly to something we call alert fatigue. It's a real thing. When you spend your whole day investigating dozens and dozens of false alarms, your brain just kind of starts to tune it all out. You get less sharp, less vigilant, and that's the exact moment when a real, damaging threat can slip right past you.
Okay, so on the flip side of that, we have the threat detection rate, or TDR. If FPR is all about measuring the noise, TDR measures the mission. It asks the ultimate question. Of all the actual attacks that came our way, what percentage did we successfully catch? This is the true measure of how reliable your SOC is.
Let's just run through a quick example. Imagine your company got hit with 6 real attacks. Your team caught 4 of them, but one was missed because of a broken rule, and another one got misclassified as a false positive. Your TDR is 67%. Now that might sound like a passing grade in school, but in security, that's a failure. The only acceptable goal here is 100%, period.
And why is the standard so absolute? Why 100% or nothing? Because every single threat you miss, that 33% gap, can be absolutely catastrophic. We're talking about a massive data breach, a company-wide ransomware infection, critical systems going down. The stakes just couldn't be any higher.
Okay, so we've talked about the SOC's accuracy, but now let's get into the next critical factor, speed. Because it's not just about what you catch, it's about how fast you catch it. And this is where the triage metrics come into play.
All of these expectations around speed are usually formalized in a document called a Service Level Agreement, or an SLA. Think of it as the official contract that sets the deadlines for how quickly the SOC team needs to jump on a potential threat. It's basically the playbook for your race against time.
And this timeline here, it shows you the whole life cycle of that race. It all starts with the attack itself. The first stopwatch starts for mean time to detect, or MTTD. How long till our tools even see it? Then the next one is mean time to acknowledge, MTTA. How long till an analyst like you actually picks it up? And finally, mean time to respond, MTTR. How long does it take to actually shut the attack down?
And look, these aren't just abstract ideas. SLAs have hard numbers attached to them. A pretty common goal is to detect a threat within 5 minutes, have an L1 analyst acknowledge it within 10 minutes, and have the whole SOC team respond and contain it within 60 minutes. These are the real benchmarks you're being measured against every single day.
So at this point, you're probably thinking, okay, I get it. Lots of acronyms, lots of targets, but these just sound like numbers for my manager's weekly report, right? And, it's a fair question, but it totally misses the bigger picture.
Wrong. They are so much more than that. These numbers are the thin line, the razor's edge, between a contained incident and a full-blown corporate disaster. They are the measure of your defense in real time.
So let's make this personal. Why should you, an L1 analyst on the front lines, care so deeply about these metrics? Because, and this is the important part, they directly connect what you do every day to where you want to go in your career.
Right. Think about your career path. Hitting these metrics, improving them, that doesn't just protect the company. It builds your reputation. These numbers are a direct, objective measurement of your performance. If you're consistently hitting your MTTA, for example, that is tangible proof of your value. And that kind of proven, consistent value, that's the clearest path you have to climbing the ladder and landing that L2 role you've been aiming for.
Okay, so the whole point isn't just to understand these metrics, it's to actually influence them. So let's finish up with an actionable playbook, some specific things you can actually do to help improve your team's score and your own score.
This table right here is basically your cheat sheet. Is the false positive rate through the roof? You can be the one to recommend tuning the specific detection rules that are making all that noise. Is the mean time to acknowledge lagging? Maybe suggest better real-time notifications. And if the mean time to respond is slow, you can focus on escalating confirmed threats to L2 faster and making sure everyone knows and uses the response playbooks.
You have to remember, you're on the front lines. You see the problems first, the noisy alerts, the confusing procedures, all of it. And that puts you in a unique position to be the first one to propose the solutions. Don't just be a ticket closer, think about how to make the entire system better.
Because ultimately, that's the real power of all these numbers. Good metrics aren't just a report card telling you how you did last week. They're a roadmap, showing you exactly where and how you can improve. They're proactive tools for getting better, day in and day out.
So the next time you log in and you're looking at your queue or you see a team dashboard up on a screen, don't just see numbers. See a story that's unfolding in real time. Your metrics are constantly talking, telling you where you're strong and where you're vulnerable. The real question is, are you listening?